Hey, welcome back to Lemire Legends. Mike here. I guess I got to reach out to Muskrat Nation on this one. For all of you that have been following along, and I just got a question for you. I researched this. I've been high and low. I've stomped a lot of woods and waters in Minnesota, Canada, North Dakota, South Dakota, into Wisconsin. And I pulled this bluegill from the lake this week, and I researched it. And I found red-eared sunfish, a green sunfish, but look at the jaw on that fish. Isn't that strange?
Okay, it's about comparable to that one.
Yeah, it's almost like a rock bass mouth or a bass mouth. I mean, look at the head on that bluegill.
What? It's got to be smaller than this one here.
And it's about almost 8.5 to 9 inch in length.
Right. So you're looking at right here. That's that one. That's what its mouth is. Can't put my finger in there.
Yeah, and this guy, he's just got this crater of a mouth.
And look at his whole head. It's huge.
And now these are some of our other mounts. And look at how it's torpedoed down with the bluegill. I mean, there's a little bit of shrinkage, of course, from the drying process, but I mean, they're all like that. And this fish here was pulled
same day.
Yeah, same day, just a little ways down the shore. And it's a little bit smaller, but, you know, it doesn't, I guess it does have a little bit of that feature.
But not, this is, I mean, okay, lay that one above that one. You can just see, just from the, not even the mouth. Lay it down so you can see the whole head.
So if anybody knows what kind of this has got to be some sort of a hybrid, I'm
the
guessing.
head is huge.
But, I mean, I've fished my entire life up here for 50-some years in these waters. And, I mean, I've doing some research and things, being a taxidermist on these kind of things, and this one's a little bit different. I mean, it kind of threw me for a loop when we brought this in. Actually, Joe caught this, and it was a little bit darker water when she reeled it in by the boat. I actually thought she had a bullhead when it was flopping through the water, rolling, and really different. But anyway, drop us a comment if you can help me out with this research. I mean,
just look at, okay, hold them up to like one of these. Just hold them up just so you can see like the whole head and body of it.
Yeah, the difference.
It's just totally different. It's weird.
And this bottom view really, I mean, this fish is probably even a little bit longer, this mounted one, than this. And there's no comparison into the jaw. I mean, this would never shrink up that much. I mean, look at the difference of that. So if you know what kind of fish that is, let me know.
Yeah.
But anyways, drop us a comment, like, share, subscribe. We just thought that was kind of interesting, and maybe somebody can help us out with that. Like I said, I've stomped the woods and water up here all my life in the northern hemisphere of the U.S. of A. And I don't know, never saw anything like it.
Before we get too much further, in a few minutes, I might have to stop this video. I am water bathing applesauce in the next room. So if the alarm goes off,
yeah, multitasking right there. Lakes Life and Homesteading on YouTube.
If the alarm goes off, I'm going to have to go turn the stove off. But we'll be right back. We're not hiding anything. It's just multitasking.
Yep,
you only got so much time in the day, and boy, the days up here are getting shorter and shorter every day.
Yeah, drop Joe a comment if you cross the channels. That'd be awesome. But anyways, what we want to do here is put that one back in my mixture there. I just want to run through some material, some skinning material that we use, tools, utensils, whatever you want to say.
We've had a few questions on this.
Yeah, we get, every time I do a fish mount, somebody wants to know what kind of knife, what is that, what is this. So let's start here. Okay, both of these, basically these are clay modeling tools, okay? And they're available at your taxidermy supply company, any supply company that you research.
Probably even Hobby Lobby type stores.
Yeah, they might even be there. But this is called a cheek scraper, okay? A cheek scraper right here, usually on that end. I mean, obviously it's a little bit big for when you're doing panfish, but once you get into largemouth,
whatever this is.
yeah, it might work on that beast. I don't know. But anyway, that's a cheek scraper. This is just a fish scraper, basically. Like I said, it's a clay modeling tool, but when you look it up in a catalog, if you want to purchase this, it's called just a fish scraper. I got a couple of just old handy dandy old trapping knives here that I use. I like a sharp one to pull my eyes out. And then this one, you can see it's been used for 20 years. It's got wax on it, epoxy Sculpt, Magic Smooth, you name it, it's on here. Resins, different types of resins that we use in the shop for mixing, but I like this dull when I do my scraping. I'll show you on that, but this one here I like to use for popping my eyes. It's got a nice little point on it, and I try not to cross these up where I'm mixing epoxy, and I rather use this one and keep this one as sharp as I can. So the other two tools I use right here, this is a fish skinning knife. It's got this serrated edge to it right here. And when you buy a brand new one, you can see right here, it's a lot sharper. I really don't use that side of the knife much. You can see where this is pretty worn. So we've done a number of fish with this one. But
we need something for Christmas.
Yeah, really. Maybe Santa Claus will bring me some applesauce and a knife. But anyways, this is all used for that. I'm just trying to get, there we go, down here so you can really see. But that's a serrated edge on this, and basically what that does, it removes the skin from your meat, so you don't rip a big hole in your fish.
And finally, got my finger in there.
Oh. And what we got here is, this is a fish shears. It's just a heavy duty shears. Probably gonna run you, set you back $25, maybe $30 nowadays. But this is a really good dandy tool to have. It'll cut through your spines of your fish. It'll cut down the side of your fish right through the skin with no problem. And if you do this for a number of years, you want something sharp and strong. Like a carpenter's got his equipment that he wants to use, saves on his arm, his shoulder, his back. As a taxidermist, this little baby right here dropped to $25, $30 instead of using a $10 snipper. So this thing will save your fingers, your hands from Mr. Arthritis. So anyway, that's what we use here. Again, 2 clay modeling tools, a cheek scraper, a fish scraper. Got a couple of knives here I use, trapping knives, a fish skinning knife, and this is just a fish shears. When you research it in a supply catalog, taxidermy supply catalog, that's what you got. So anyways, what I want to do here is I just want to knock the main carcass out of this just to give you an idea of what we're going to do. I'm not going to get into a deep dive into skinning and scraping the whole skin, but I'll kind of give you an idea of how I do it.
And how we use those tools.
There's other videos out there where I race to do a bluegill in 9 minutes, 11 minutes, a perch in whatever it was, 11 minutes or whatever. And I don't want to be repetitive on that end, but I just want to show people again and give them an idea.
Yeah, we're going to take some time and actually show you what you use each of these for.
So I had nicked this before, knowing that's going to be this is going to be basically the back side of my mount. This is going to be a left turn bluegill, and I opted for that because this is going to drop in my mold right here.
Because it's perfect. Not really a bluegill.
Yeah, I don't know.
So we had to find one.
Yeah, I got like a 10-inch bluegill mold that I'm going to put this 8.5-inch fish in, but I wanted that. It is a thick fish, you can see that, so I'm gonna use that down the road. But
please
anyways,
let us know what it is if anybody knows.
Yeah, drop us a comment.
It did look like a bluegill, color-wise, yeah. And
so I'm doing over here is I like the back side fin. I like to save those. I just lay it on the table here, and by the time I'm done skinning and scraping my fish and I get into my curing agent, I can flip that over for the night on the other side, and I'll have a dried fin that way instead of taking a piece of basically screen like this and pinning it out. I mean, this is just a way quicker way of doing it, as long as I'm going to be right here. So anyhow, so let's get started on this.
I don't even know what's going to be in there. Toxic waste.
Crazy. So what we're going to do here, okay, I'm going to start right underneath here, right on the bottom of the throat latch. Separate the throat latch from the head in the gill cover area. I'm going to take the gills at the same time. Now I'm going to remove the gills on this fish. So what I do is I come in right here, right between the gills and the inside of the collarbone right here, all the way up. Just with little nibbles. And I get to the top of the head right here.
That flap's even huge.
Yep, behind the look at how big that is. Isn't that crazy? But behind the gill cover into the top of the head, stop just about at the midway point of the body. Okay, and then I'm going to come in here, I'm going to take a deep dive and I'm going to sever the spine. Okay, we're probably not going to get all of it in one or two clips, but that'll help us out down the road. Okay, next thing I want to do is I want to break this collarbone, and this is where these shears really come in handy. I mean, nothing to it. Okay, and then you want to do an imaginary line right down the middle of your fish, right to the base of the tail. Now, when your scales start to end right here, that's where you're going to stop snipping. You don't want to go too far, because what you're going to do is you're going to split this tail open.
A little tough, huh?
Yeah, I'm just going to nibble at this a little bit. And I want to stop right there. And something else I wanted to mention, I sort of did this intentionally so I could bring this up in my video, that this fish was laying in a cooler full of ice, and then all the ice melted overnight, and I just left it in the cooler just so I could tell you. See what this does to your fins when you throw a fish in a cooler and you don't protect it. It's flopping around in the ice, and the other thing that happened is bacteria started to hit on this, and that's what's going to happen if you don't care for your fish. And again, I have another video out there on that if you want to look that up, how to care and handle your fish before it gets to the taxidermist. So, but that's what'll happen to you. You know, if you're throwing your fish around in a fish basket or in a cooler full of ice or whatever, this is what's going to happen. And then if you don't care for it, you don't keep it refrigerated properly, decay is going to start to hit your fish, and that's exactly what's happening right here. So that was some value for you there, and you know, a pro tip, I guess, so to speak, from a guy that, you know, he didn't let the thing go to waste, but I didn't care for it properly either. So that's a learning project for you. So what I'm doing right here now is I'm taking the collarbone off of the back of this fish. I just took that part of it, and I took this part. I removed that. I mean, I don't remove it on the show side, obviously, but on the back side of my fish for commercial taxidermy, I do. So what I do now is I just want to get in here, and you want to start snipping around, and you want to remove the gills. Okay, just like that. Gills are gone. Then what I want to do is I want to cut in underneath here. Okay, between the skin. And basically what I'm doing is there's a little bone here in this back of this fin that we removed. I just want to separate that from the meat as much as I can. So, like I said...
the timer went off and shut my recorder off. So we're just picking up where we were.
Yep. We had to cut and edit to go to get the applesauce. So anyways, here's where we're at. That's what you call multitasking when you're a taxidermist. Got to do what you got to do. So anyways, we removed the collarbone. The gills are gone. And now what we want to do is we want to separate the skin from the meat. And with this...
It might have cut off, hon. How did you start separating that? That might have cut off right when my...
Oh, okay. Well, I went in right underneath here, and that...
Okay.
At the beginning of the video, we removed this fin right here. I just want to go in underneath there, and I want to snip that skin and that bone loose from our meat.
I'm not sure where it cut off.
Okay, so what's next here is with this knife, what you want to do, this is the head of the knife. So you always want to have that with the head of your fish, and you want to work it this way. You want to make all your strokes down towards, from the head to the tail. You don't want to work your knife like this. It's way more effective to go this way. Okay, so you got your head of your knife up here, go this way. You don't, you know, bass backwards, the hockey stick, right? So you want to go like this. I mean, that's what kind of jaw this is, a bass backwards one. I don't know. Crazy. But anyways, so that's what we're going to do. We're just going to hold the fish still. And you always want to make sure that you got a smooth, nice, smooth surface to do your work on. Whether you can use a cutting board or something. You just don't want to have a big old bumpy surface underneath there to start doing your skinning and scraping on, because you're going to do damage to the show side of your fish on the scales. So we're going to open this fish up. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put our scissors in. I'm going to keep my finger behind this fish fin, this anal fin right here. Okay, and I'm going to take a little nibble right here. And you can feel when you get into those fin rays. And we're going to separate those from the skin and the meat. Little bites at a time. And we're going to carry that on right in underneath the intestines here. Okay, until we can feel these pec fins right here. You're going to feel the set of bones here. And basically these pec fins, it's like a butterfly. Okay, on the inside here. You got basically the body of the butterfly, and then you got your bones that go out this way, which would be more like the wings on a butterfly. So look at it that way. That's kind of what you have to visualize here. So when you separate this, okay, right here, okay, there's your pec fins. Okay, you're just gonna, now you can remove some meat to get a more of a visual on this, but I'm gonna do it this way in this video just to give you an idea. Okay, you see that? You got one fin ray there and one there. So what you want to do is you want to separate them. Okay, right down the body of the butterfly. Okay, and then you want to just clean those up the best you can. If you're a tenderfoot out there, sorry, I apologize for the butterfly innuendo, but it's just what popped to the top of my head. That's what I'm going to fly with. Ha! Kill me. Okay, so there we go. Got that cleaned up. Now, what I like to use is my dull knife. Again, right around that. Okay, as long as we're here, let's just clean up some of that. And you're going to find with practice, you're gonna find out what works best for you. I mean, you've seen in my other videos, if you watch them, I remove the main carcass before I start skinning and scraping the fish, but I just want to run some of these tools by you and see, you can see what works pretty well. Okay, and I'm down in this belly area. You know, might need a little sharper knife just to lift up some of that belly meat. Just like that. And the other thing you can use, you know, as long as you're holding it still and it's not, your skin's not going to get away from you, this will save you some time, especially on a bigger fish. You can use this scraping tool right here, okay? And what I like to do is I like to scrape away this way, and we get inside. You can see where these rib bones are right here. And on the other side, you'll be able to see where the rib bones are. That's the way you want to scrape your meat. It's kind of with those rib bones. And they'll actually be on a little bigger fish. There'll be some white lines in your skin. So it almost gives you a guide on which way you want to scrape with. Okay, so this knife is going to help you out. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that you don't start tearing your fins apart when you start scraping on your skin. Okay, now we're going to get down in this throat latch area right here. And we're going to snip out all that bone right there. Okay, and you can use, I mean, this will work. This duller knife will work. Sharper knife will work. Any of this. But you can catch most of that in one big chunk. Just like that. It'll pull right off of there for you. Just like that. Now, if you tear some of this throat latch skin, there's very few scales on there, and it's really thin. Don't panic, because you can rebuild that with basically different epoxy sculpts are on the market when your fish dries. So, see, that'll take that out for you. Now, right here, where those fin rays were on this, you can back scrape that, and you'll feel the tip of your knife hitting those bones. So you can get that right up to the bones. And like I said, I'm doing this one a little bit different than my other videos. The other ones, I always remove the main carcass before I start skinning and, you know, before I start scraping on my fish.
We've had a lot of questions though on the tools.
Yeah. So
and we have a question on the fish.
We're going with a little different method on this one, you know. So now we got that down. And again, see the way the tool is? The head up here with the head of the fish, and then down towards the tail. Same thing, now we're going to come in here. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to get underneath that skin. We're going to start working that knife in there between the skin and the meat. And pull that all the way down. just like that. I'm going to take my shears in here. See, if I went any farther, it would start ripping into that. And then where the deterioration was, I'd really split that open. So I'm just going to cut that, nip that right off. So that's going to stop any more damage there. Now, if you want to take your time, you could skin this a lot better. You know, a lot of this, this meat right here would stay right on the carcass where you won't have to do all that scraping. But I found it just doesn't matter for production on my end. You know, you've seen that I can really crank a fish out. I can knock it out real fast if I don't have to sit and explain what I'm doing and all that. I've done literally thousands of fish mounts, so I can do them pretty quick. But you know, if you're going to be a production taxidermist, you're going to make a living. I mean, you need to be efficient. That's the name of the game, efficiency. You can't get behind and you need to be efficient. So, a couple business lessons for you. But I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay, secondary dorsal fin right here, right at the back of that. I'm going to put my shears in. I'm going to do a little nibbling. I can feel where my fin rays are. And we're just going to take little bites. Finger again is in behind there, so make sure the shears does not come through. Little bites all the way up into the main spiny dorsal, right up there, right up into the head area. And like we started at the beginning, we're going to sever the rest of that spine. Okay, now we're going to come in again with our knife, head of the knife, head of the fish. We're going to work a little bit of that meat away from the spine, and we're going to work down towards the tail again. Okay, just like that. And I like to use my middle finger here, lift up so you can see where you're at. Okay, and what you're working with, just like that. And I go almost right, well actually this one I did go right on through. So that worked out nice. What you want to come back here and do is I try and get all this in one pass. Okay, again, middle finger back here so you can feel what's going on. You don't go through. Little bites. We're going to separate the meat from the fin rays of the tail. Just like that. Come back in here and we're going to take our little skinny knife here. And we're going to pop that loose. Now you're going to probably get a little bit of muscle tissue on there. You're going to have to separate, but not a big deal. Okay, same thing. Middle finger, lift it up. Index finger right here, holding your skin down. You start working the rest of this. Just like that. Now, what we're going to do is just going to clip in there. I'm going to get the camera on this so people can see what's going on. Okay, so we just roll that out. And that main carcass is rolled right out of there. You can just pull it right out. Just gently hold your skin down with your hand and you can pull that carcass right out of there. All right, we're going to go through this a little quicker now. You can see where those little white lines were. That's the guide for your scraping right there. Going to clean all that up. And I strongly urge that you try a fish this size or bigger instead of practicing on, you know, a 4 or 5 inch bluegill. I mean, a one pound fish, even a 2 pound fish, a freshwater fish for practice is a lot better a learning curve for you than if you're getting into it, than jumping into your trophy fish right away. But you can see what I'm doing right here. I mean, that side of the skinny knife and this side, just knock that out. Okay, and I'm just going to show you. I take my knife here and I go in along the spine. I'm going to do the same thing down here off camera, but I just want to show you how I clean these fin butts up. Okay, real quick. You just come in there, right along the edge, head to tail, just like that. Hand again back there, that'll pop up those spines for you. Boom. Boom. Now, if you make a little hole here, it's not the end of the world, but you want to clean as much as that as you can out of there. your clay and your filler is going to, fill that in, but you want to get as much of that meat and oil out of there as you can. Oh, see, it made a hole. It's kind of rushing things a little bit. I should have been using this part of the shears instead of back there trying to take big bites. But
bad nipple.
we got a little repair job to do, but hey.
Maybe we'll get a couple more videos off this.
Yeah, we got
a
little repair job to do there, but it's not the end of the world. You can see I just kind of chuckle about it because and whip the fish off the wall going, oh, I destroyed it. It's not a big deal. I know how to patch that, but time is money, and it's a little bit frustrating, but it's not the first time it happened. As a professional taxidermist, and it won't be the last, but that's an easy fix up there. So anyways, that is that. We're going to come into here now. And you're going to know when you have all the meat and the skeletal structure of this fish out of this head. And the only way to do it and to know is just to get in there and start digging around and popping it out. Okay, just like this. And this isn't clean enough, but you're going to get the idea of what you have to do in there. Okay, you're going to take some of this meat out of there. You're going to get the spine out and all of that. Okay, so that's that. Same thing here. This is just going to be kind of a fishing around adventure for you right in here to get this meat out of there. You can remove it, take your shears, and you can get in there and just start picking away at that. And you'll be able to get that out and get it in underneath that collarbone right there and clean that up. So really nothing to that. No, that's not clean enough right there, but so Joe's got checking her canning here in a second, so we're kind of rushing through this a little bit.
Minutes ago.
Yeah. So anyways, last thing I want to show you why I like a sharp knife here is you can just get in here on this eye. You can just carve it right out, get it with your fingernails. You can go right around it, sharp knife, carve that eye right out of there. And if you're a tenderfoot, we're not apologizing for, the little bit of graphic content here at all, but if you are, I'm sorry, and I'm sure you're not watching this at this point in this game, but this is how taxidermy is done. If you want to do a real fish skin mount, this is how it's done. Same thing, sharp knife. I come in between the meat, in the cheek there, in the skin. You want to make sure you don't poke through, and if you do, same thing as I did back there. Not to panic, you can fix it. And you just want to start working that in there and start taking that cheek meat out of there. And you'll be able to tell when you get it all out of there. And, if this is a bigger fish, you could tape this round part here and you could get right in there just like this. This is almost big enough that you can get in there and get all that meat with this too. But it was a little bigger fish. Yeah, you can get in there. So basically that's all there is to that. We're gonna go back in here. We're gonna clean up this here, a little bit of that, clean out the head. Same thing, pop out that eye and that cheek and roll from there. So I hope you learned something. I hope this is some value to you. Like I said, reaching out to Muskrat Nation. Let us know what you think type of fish this is. It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's a panfish, but we're not quite sure. So drop us a comment, like, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.